All tribal business councils know they need to diversify their business portfolios in the coming years. In the meantime, Indian gaming is the driving force helping tribal governments across the U.S. to become more self-sufficient. NWIN's Deborah Parker has more.
It is no secret that tribal-owned gaming enterprises continue to be a proven growth industry across the land, to the tune of more than $25 billion in gross revenue nationally and gaining each year. To make sure that the collective knowledge of tribal gaming enterprises is shared, the National Indian Gaming Association, or NIGA, hosts several conferences and events throughout the year. The premier annual NIGA event is the Indian Gaming Trade Show and Convention, this year being held in Phoenix, Arizona. This gathering is a place where the successes as well as the challenges of Indian gaming can be discussed in an open forum.
Our world has always been about sharing, working together, helping one another. Some of our big tribes are helping small tribes. Some of our smaller tribes have better market are helping some of our big tribes. And we're working together, and that's what the National Indian Gaming Association is all about. It's networking, working together, and helping one another.
It is well known that gaming enterprises especially benefit the sovereign governments and therefore the enrolled members of the gaming tribes. But what positive benefits, if any, do the surrounding non-native communities receive from Indian gaming?
Well over 600,000, pushing 700,000 employees working in this industry. And in a time like right now in our economy, it's nice to have a job, and our wages are good wages. We pay good wages, we have good benefits, and we take care of our employees.
The creation of hundreds of thousands of jobs, from casino construction to casino management, means that gaming employees spend their paychecks in the local marketplaces, continue to pay off their loans, and contribute to federal income and other state and local taxes. And this includes tribal members. It is not always known outside of Indian communities that all enrolled tribal members are U.S. citizens, and with very rare exception, all tribal members pay federal income and other taxes. And it does not stop there. Whenever tribal members shop off reservation, they pay state and local taxes. If they own a home off reservation, they pay state property taxes. When they live on reservation, they often pay taxes imposed by tribal governments. So all casino employees circulate money into the regional economies and support governments with tax revenues. Nearly all tribes have entered into gaming compact agreements with state governments where typically up to 2% of gross revenues are paid out for local charitable and educational uses called community impact funds, and another 0.5% is paid out to nearby city or county governments to be used as charitable distributions. These are technically not called taxes, but rather fees.
Indian gaming is a positive influence. The philanthropy work that Indian gaming does out there, it attaches to other organizations that want to be affiliated with Indian gaming to support anyone's needs.
Those groups that are making our community better. An example of that might be the Boys and Girls Club or the YMCA that request funds and what they're doing for our community overall.
Our service agreements with local municipalities, $100 million a year, another $100 million to charitable contributions into our communities.
Brett Magnan was recently named the 2009 Executive of the Year by the Snohomish County Business Journal. This recognition from off the reservation demonstrates the importance of building positive relationships between tribal-owned businesses and the neighboring communities.
The wonderful aspect of receiving this award is that this is actually representing so much more in the community. Tulalip Resort touches a lot of different parts of the community. When you talk about the impact to other businesses and the salaries and wages for the 2,400 team members we have at Tulalip Resort, the impact is greater than 4 times on what it does in the community. So for every dollar that's generated with the resort, it goes back in the community and generates again that cyclical event 4 times over.
The multiplier effect is evolving in these communities around us. And that's why, people, like us, people work with us, people are patient with us, because we're a family-friendly environment and we look out for one another. And again, our success doesn't stop at the reservation boundaries and with the color of our skin. We're all in this together.
Net revenues from gaming are mandated by the Indian Regulatory Act to go towards tribal programs, Indian healthcare, and other charitable purposes. the success of tribal businesses is making tribes more self-sufficient overall.
With this gaming opportunity that we have today and the opportunity to diversify, we are now able to fund programs that were previously unfunded by the federal government. So yes, it is a good thing that we're able to do for our people. An example of that today, at Tulalip Tribes, we have more college graduates than ever before in our history because we're able to help fund their educational needs.
But what about problem gambling? What percentage of gaming funds come from addiction? Problem gambling does exist.
What we do know about gambling is that most adults can enjoy it for entertainment and recreation, but a small percentage of the population does end up having a real problem with gambling, whether it's a problem or a full-blown addiction, what might be called pathological or compulsive gambling. And in Washington, as in most of the country and in other countries, that percentage remains fairly stable within a range. That would be somewhere between 2% and 4% of the adult population. The last prevalent studies in Washington would indicate we're somewhere in the middle, about 2.3 to 2.5%. Tribal gaming casinos, as well as tribal councils, tribal nations have been very supportive of this issue in the past on a voluntary basis because they believed it was the right thing to do. And in the past year, as many people may know, the tribes in Washington state renegotiated their tribal compacts with the state. And they made a commitment at that time to provide funding for problem gambling as a regular part of their business.
So what does the future of Indian gaming look like? Will casinos continue to be major employers for native and non-native alike? The truth is, even though gaming is being well maintained today, Indian leaders must always be planning ahead for the day when casinos may no longer be a part of tribal business portfolios.
Yeah, well, that's why we established what we call the American Indian Business Network. And when we established this and asked everybody to be involved in this process, because the American Indian Business Network is about building our economies, about expanding through economic development and other ways to make our economic base stronger.
Today, Indian gaming is stable and shows steady growth, providing employment for communities and taxes for governments. The key to future success for all tribes, however, will be in the continued diversification of tribally owned enterprises. For Northwest Indian News, Sitsai Alta Sitsta, Deborah Parker reporting.